Hello viewers and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm your host Hamza Idris. In the middle of August, the National Economic Council announced that the federal government had approved 5 billion naira grants to be given to each of the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja for the procurement of grains, as well as 5 trucks of rice to each of the states as palliatives to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. This action aimed at ensuring that Nigerians who might fall below the poverty line get some support from the federal government has now triggered an unexpected ripple, causing scarcity of rice and a surge in its price as well as other grains in the market. According to multiple sources, the hike is partly attributed to a scramble for the commodity by suppliers recruited by both the federal and state governments. As per the Daily Trust lead story today, Friday, September 1, contractors' requests for rice have driven up the demand without a corresponding increase in supply from millers across the country. Those who spoke to our correspondents said sudden increase in demand for rice without adequate planning has strained the market, leading to a significant increase of over 10,000 naira per 50 kg bag in the last 10 days. Also, debate over the ability of Nigerians to buy petrol has been raging since the sudden announcement by President Bola Tinubu in his inaugural speech that subsidy is gone. Many are struggling with the effects of the removal, which translated into fuel price hike, triggering a rise in cost of living. Some suggested reversal of the removal until adequate provision is made. Take a look.
Several analysts have sustained the argument that fuel subsidy removal was the right thing to do to free resources for the critical sectors of the economy like infrastructure, health, and to help propel economic growth. However, since the subsidy removal, Nigerians have had to deal with hardships attributed to the hike in the cost of fuel. The federal government introduced palliatives to be distributed to the poorest Nigerians to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. However, despite government's attempt to bring some succor to people in difficult situations, many Nigerians remain skeptical that the palliatives will provide some relief to their struggles in life.
First of all, they said remove subsidy gone. You are removing without preparing. They told us, they lied to us that market forces will bring it down. How will market forces bring it down when we are not producing? First of all, we have been having economists who have been speaking effective English every year in, year out, without nothing. Come to the village. I'm from the rural community, and I go and see what the people at the rural community are going through. Have we ever bothered ourselves on how we're going to take care of them? And Nigerians beg us. We are hard-working people, for God's sake. We are hard-working people. Why should palliative worry brought it? Did it work? Now you are bringing palliative. How many people are going to collect this palliative? How many? Is it the farmers in the village or the people in the city? What are the modalities of sharing this? Where is the data?
First, I don't even believe there is fuel subsidy in the first place. It's scam. That's what I believe. And like as you said, whether fuel subsidy can come back to Nigeria. Like I don't believe. But I know if it's true that there's fuel subsidy, then I believe it should come back. Because with the way things are going now, I don't think many people can survive this. Let us be realistic. We don't need that kind of palliative. Let them use all the money to go and repair our refinery. Let them do the refinery. Let it keep working so that everything can work. By providing palliative, providing which palliative? Somebody was saying sometimes ago that they are going to give us 80,000. Tell me, what is 80,000?
Palliative itself, in my view, is not the best for any government. We needed something that can sustain, because when you talk about sustainability of an issue, palliative is not a sustainable thing continuously. It has a time span in economics. You do it, but for how long will you continue the palliative measure? Vis-a-vis the inflationary trend, vis-a-vis the escalating cost of living, are you going to continue with the palliative? There is no society that will continue palliative. That's not a good economic policy. A good economic policy has to be well thought out idea managerially.
The recent Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics show that Nigeria's inflation rate has sustained an upward trend, with the latest figure hitting an all-time high of 22.79%, with a direct correlation in the cost of living. Even though the federal government has reassured Nigerians that the price of fuel will not rise above the current price following calls for further price hikes by independent oil marketers, financial consultant Dr. Hussaini remains skeptical of the government's reassurance. However, economist Dr. Aliu Audu has a different take.
Subsidy, as we say, is not the best for any government. But in any case, giving subsidy to those whom subsidy is due to, I have no problem with that. All right? If it's back in a way that the average or the generality of people that is meant for, that's okay. It is done everywhere, even in the most advanced country. And no country leaves its economy in the hands of demand and supply. No country. I'm more on the side of independent marketers who are saying it is likely. Because they are on the street. They know what is happening. They are the major importers. All right? Because you and I know it's not once, it's not twice. The government has said no, NNPC has said no, and the thing comes to fruition. You know that very well. So I am more in agreement with independent marketers than NNPC and even the government.
Independent Marketers Association, there's a profit element. Independent marketers. So they are looking at their own pockets. Government, however, looks at the interest of Nigerians. So why don't we listen to the government? Because if the government says it shouldn't exceed a particular amount, or let's say 600 or so, then they will have measures in place. They have the price control board that will regulate anybody that is trying to outsmart the market. Taking up subsidy doesn't mean the government cannot give palliatives to independent marketers. You could give them tax-free landing concessions. You could give them a lot of palliatives, a lot of economic incentives to bring in fuel. Because if you're importing anything to Nigeria, you must pay an import duty.
Many Nigerians have called for the reversal of the fuel subsidy removal plan, pending when the government can take proper measures to ensure a smooth transition for Nigerians. Analysts, however, say that a reversal in the suspension of the fuel subsidy may worsen the suffering of Nigerians and render efforts of the federal government redundant. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And with me in the studio to share perspectives on these issues is John Chuksazu. He is the editor of our Judiciary Desk. Welcome to the program, John.
Thank you very much.
How you are fine?
Yes.
How much did you bought rice?
The last time I bought was 35, but I just had some few days back that is now 45, so 10,000 naira addition.
Yeah.
Now it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Since it's scarce now in the market.
Sad. And viewers, as you know, today is your day, and we'll be discussing the rise in the prices of food items following the reeling out of the palliatives by the federal government and the subsequent hike in the prices. Feel free to call and contribute as soon as the telephone line is open. Yeah. And how is Madam at home? I'm sure she's complaining.
She's really complaining.
You see, we did a report today. It's exclusive that in the last 10 days, you've seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, in the last 10 days, the price has jumped, our first rider says, by 10,000. A bag of rice is now selling as much as 50,000.
Wow.
In some places. Do you think Nigerians will bear this anymore?
I want to commend the work done by our newspaper, the Daily Trust.
Yeah, the whole team. In the
yes, the team, the idea, the conception, and the dealing with human issues, human interest issues, and the day-to-day grind that Nigerians face. I think this is what journalism is all about, bringing to the fore what is emanating from the economic and political policies. So I think we've done fantastically well. I commend us, and then other newspapers should emulators, this kind of work to.
Yes, and you see what we did was to actually take this story to the grassroots. We now ask all our reporters, across the states that, okay, go to the market, ask, and then, the retailers that what happened in 10 days, addition of 10,000 in a bag of rice. Why? They said, of course, the palliative announced by the federal government that they will give 5 trucks, which amounted to around, I think, 3,000 bags per state, yeah, including the FCT. Now, sadly, they don't have it in the stores. They don't have it in the strategic grains reserves. Yeah. Now they ask contractors to go and look for this commodity, and the contractors descended on the markets. They got it, and now they took it. Of course, many states admitted that they got the consignment, but 3,000 bags. Some shared it into 4, giving people, is it 13.5 kg as the palliative? Okay. Why do you think the federal government deployed this sudden change? Because initially on the removal they said, is it 8,000?
8,000 naira pay
for the most vulnerable. And then later they said they have withdrawn that. Yeah. And then now suddenly we heard of the palliative. Is it that government wasn't ready for this issue?
Yes, if you look at the analysis out there, the whole announcement of the removal of subsidy was more or less abrupt. It was abrupt. It was a knee-jerk approach to managing this conundrum of oil subsidy regime. It was always discussed by Nigerians that something ought to be done, but how it was done is always the issue. The government did not think it through. They didn't roll out tangible plans for the vulnerable. It was just announced off the cuff, and today we've seen the crisis it has created. Clearly it was not thought out. Everybody feels the pangs, even those at the highest echelons of society. Yeah,
we brought a former minister here. He said that, of course, he believed that he was middle class, but that middle class has melted, that he's also very poor now.
Yeah,
because
there are 2 classes.
Yeah, and we brought another elite on this program, and he also said that if 6 people will depend on you, for you to share what the little you have, meaning you are one of them, because before you know, you won't be able to even support them. So now you have seen the clips. We interviewed Nigerians, and many are calling for the reversal of the subsidy. Are you on the same page with them? That government should bring back the subsidy, because the erroneous belief then was that it was only benefiting a section, a certain category of Nigerians, but now it has down on every other person that, look, it is even the poor that are suffering the brunt. Should we bring it back?
Yes, I support it. Like every human being has that capacity to make a new person of themselves. Okay. That is why we are different. That's why we are not carved objects. So you are going on the wrong direction. It is the wrong path. What do? You take a turn and negotiate the right direction. You cannot just say, oh, I will go, because negotiating the right path will take some time or will bring shame to me. So to save face, let me continue.
It's better to say that I have admitted we didn't get it right.
Yes.
The IMF, because honestly we have to call them out also, and they all brought these prescriptions that subsidy must go. But I remember just a few days after the subsidy removal, the same IMF issued advisory that more Nigerians
will drop to poverty.
Yes. So
7 million
is it
more.
that our economists, we have millions of them in Nigeria, are they not really working, that we always have to import ideas from outside?
No, the problem is, I was discussing with a colleague, a journalist, the other day. We were just saying that we think our society is anti-intellectual. There is so much knee-jerk
approach.
Yes,
and whatever the foreign establishment say that is sacrosanct. We see it as maybe a divine, sanction.
Yes, it becomes the holy grail. So we don't have our own conditions to look at. We don't have our own national characteristics. I think development should be measured according to the domestic conditions and national characteristics. This is where, because your national characteristics emanate from your history, your culture, your philosophy. We don't have that.
In our story, we spoke to quite a number of people. Nigerians first. We spoke to traders. They said their supplies depleted by high demand. We now spoke to millers. And during the Buhari administration, quite a number of people establish small, medium, and large-scale rice mills across the country. If you go to Ebonyi, you will see it. If you go to Lagos, you will see it. If you go to Benue, if you go to Plateau, if you go to Borno, even where rice is not produced, you have mills. I was shocked a few days ago while on my way to Kano. While getting into the town, there is this huge rice mill. I don't want to mention the name, but I didn't see the smoke, which shows that production has been started. Parboiling and even processing. So when I got in and I spoke to one of my brothers who was also into this, he said, "Where is the paddy? The paddy is not there." So you can now see that it's a serious problem because the millers are there. They don't have the paddy to produce it. And I don't know where we got it wrong, John Chooks. They went to market and mopped up everything. They shared it in court because there are arguments that the rice was not really even shared the way it should. And that is why people don't even have it. And there are some who have money to go to market to buy, but it's like they will now have to encroach into their budget. What they budgeted for the month of August is already depleted completely with this addition of 10,000. You too, if you are going back, I don't know what you are going to do now.
It's a difficult situation that Nigerians have found themselves. I think the whole, like I said earlier, the whole conception was not properly thought out. I remember that sometime in July, the government also suggested that about 256,000 metric tons of grains would be supplied. So we thought there was a strategic reserve somewhere.
Unfortunately.
Even in last year, 2022, they were talking about 60,000 grains reserved. But all of a sudden...
We did a story on that. When we spoke to those that matter, they said, look, it's not there. It's not in the reserve.
Government should have been coming clean. If we need to import to supplement local supplies, we ought to do that.
All right. Thank you. Viewers, now over to you. Feel free to call and contribute as soon as we are ready, and we are now ready for you. The line has been displayed on the screen. Call our line and then let's hear from you. Yes. Some are saying we should import it. Did you subscribe to that idea that we should import rice, we should import wheat, we should import maize because it's not there? Poultry farmers, I remember a certain AIG who is into full-scale poultry. He called me the other day saying that, look, please do a story. I said, we have done it. He said, do it again. I said, we've done this over and over. He said, there is no maize. We have the birds in our farms. We can't even break even. I was really shocked because, the way he was talking. It was as if there was no rice for his children at home. Of course, life is life. You have birds, you can't even feed them. The maize is not there. So should government open its border? I'm sure maybe some of our callers will give their perspective on this, but from your end.
But apart from agreeing with that submission that the border should be thrown open to bring in the supplies, the fact remains that Nigeria has enough arable land to produce. If the government, it means that these policies all these years, even to the apex of the last administration where we had the rice pyramids, were all mirage. They were not real. But what the government needs to do going forward now is to invest massively in value chains for agriculture. We have no reason. We have no reason to rely on other countries.
In this same story, John, we spoke to some people. They said, yeah, the arable land is there, but attempt and go to your farm. You will be picked by bandits, kidnappers.
No, this is security, political will. Because the way it is now, it is like an implosion. If there is no food, people cannot farm, and there is no food, what happens? There is no money, there is no cash. So crime will spike. All in that cycle.
Those who maybe have a bag in their house, we still, we reported in the same edition that, the farmlands that have matured now, it's about time for harvest.
Yeah.
Now people sleep in the farms in order to guard them because others are, going there in the dead of the night to steal maize, to steal other crops. Yes, just to feed, because as you rightly said, the money is not there. There is inflation, and the food is not readily available. So those who have started celebrating that it's time to harvest, they are now not sleeping at all. They have.
And what if the floods come and wipe off before they harvest finally?
Then who will save Nigeria? I'm really getting agitated. You are introducing more trouble into the conversation because, of course, Cameroon said they have opened the Lagdo Dam, and farmers in Taraba, of course, many of them, they said their rice farms have been submerged by flood now.
Yeah.
What is really wrong? What is happening in Nigeria? Viewers, please call. We are waiting for your contribution to the program. Yes.
Like you said.
All right. Of course, we have the first caller from where? From Plateau State. Yeah, Dalami. Yeah. Welcome to the program, Dalami. How much is bag of rice in your locality?
Bag of rice in my locality now is about 55,000, sir.
What? 55?
Yeah.
We reported in our paper today that, of course, one of our reporters, in Jos, that it was 50,000 yesterday. So it's now 55.
55,000 today, sir.
Wow. You are calling from Jos Town or from Bukuru or from Pangshin?
From Kanam.
Oh, Kanam. Oh, my
Yes, sir.
God. So what is your contribution now? How can we address this problem? 55,000.
I think our major problem in Nigeria today, not only in Kanam, as I know, the problem is all over. My point is the palliative issue, sir. And I don't think, sir, this can call a palliative.
Okay.
Plateau State palliative.
The line is breaking. Can you go a bit far from your... Oh, we lost that Lami. I hope you will call back, but you heard him that it is 55,000. We say spikes, within 10 days, it was, addition of 10,000. Now it's like there's addition of 5,000 again in Plateau. And it's one of the food baskets of
the Federation. Yeah, it's a critical situation, like we are all here to analyze, and the government has to do something. But my suggestion would be radical. I don't know if...
Okay, what is that? Go, yeah.
If I want to say radically,
yeah,
the government should cut down on its own side. There is no reason why the government must maintain 40...
You are talking about cost of governance.
Yes, cost of governance. There's no need to maintain 48 ministers with all the opportunities and perks of office. There should have been a cut, like 35, or we have 36 to 36 plus FCT. Then the rest of the money should be plowed. There should be food stamps for the poor. There should be transport stamps to make the buses not to go through the market. I heard they are bringing the CNG buses. But how many? We haven't even seen any.
We haven't seen any, yeah. Okay, let's hear from Mohammed. He's calling from Maiduguri. How much is a bag of 50 kg rice in Maiduguri? Mohammed, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Good evening, viewers.
Thank you.
A bag of rice in Maiduguri today is between 50 to 55,000 naira.
Just like in Plateau. So now how do we address this problem, Mohammed?
Okay, before I go into the solution to this problem, I just want to use this medium to maybe you advise the politician. This palliative that federal government gives to state governments, in some states, are giving this card for politicians, for party agents, to give it to their members. So I think it's good for you people to make it public so that they should be giving it to everybody, not necessarily only to party members.
So Mohammed, this is completely another twist from your end, that the palliative is being shared by politicians to their party members. Meaning that if you are not a member of a certain political party which is in power, you are not likely going to benefit from this.
Exactly. Most of the states like this.
Oh my God, it's really sad. Okay, thank you for your contribution, Mohammed.
Thank you so much.
Can you see another dimension, John?
Yes.
That politicians are now just sharing. It's an allegation. Maybe other people will buttress what he said. Is it true? People, once you win, I think you should be for governor for all. Then why, even in the distribution, saying that only people who pay allegiance to your political party that will benefit from the palliative?
But I think it's natural, it's expected. 3,000 bags was always going to be a drop in the ocean. There is no state in Nigeria today that does not have over 5 million.
Yeah, it's like our caller from Plateau, Chiroma, is back. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, from Kanam. Yes, go ahead.
So I was talking about this palliative issue.
Yes.
On the plateau, I think they have distributed about 160 bags per local government.
Okay.
In my local government, the population of over 200,000. So how could 160 bags eliminate the condition of people suffering with this issue of subsidy removal? Can this be called palliative at all? And I believe if this thing will be distributed evenly, I think hardly somebody will go with quarter of a module of a measure of rice.
Wow.
So it seems like the Mr. President is not even ready for the palliative, real palliative.
All right.
Imagine if a local government of over 200 population receiving 160 bags.
Yeah.
When you divide the 200 population, divide by 160 bags, you will discover that only few will go with half of a module.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dalami.
Where are we heading to?
All right, thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Another perspective to the conversation. In Kanam, Plateau State, it's the southern part of this area thing. Yeah, okay.
Yes, like I said earlier, it was always expected that 3,000 bags for a state will not go anywhere. In fact, the 5 billion naira package was just like a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to go anywhere. And even the suggestion that the money saved, I think they are sharing 4 trillion this month. And they say this for infrastructure. Infrastructure to be used by who? Where?
Maybe they should do the Pio says approach, stomach infrastructure. So what is your final take on this before we let you go back to the newsroom to continue with your work?
Yeah, I think the government should reverse itself. The government has that capacity and that humanity to review the whole project, the whole policy, and see where they got it wrong.
And then
make go back to the drawing board.
All right. Thank you very much, John Chooks, our editor judiciary desk, for your informed perspective on the raging issue in the country. We hope to have you again.
Thank you.
And viewers will go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. The call will answer your calls. We're back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. I now have in the studio Andrew Linsami. He holds PhD in political science and he comments on virtually everything. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You've seen the first part of the program. What is your impression? How much is rice in your area?
When I look at the way you were coming up, I realized that you took it from the top. You're supposed to come from the bottom.
Okay.
Have you seen how much is a measure? In our local parlance, we call it mudu.
Yes.
How many type of rice do we even have? You know, most of the time when people see things that come from abroad or outside the ocean, they believe it's original. It's not everything that comes from there that is original.
You are not referring to what we produce back
What
home.
we produce, as local as what we produce today, half of a mudu in our local balance is 800, 900 naira of rice.
And that can feed like how many people?
How
in your
many
family?
people? It's just 4 cups that make half of a mudu.
So if you have a wife and 3 children,
it's
very unlikely for that to satisfy the family.
It's not going to go. It will not go anywhere. So when they talk about palliatives, I just look at it that where did we get it wrong? We don't need this palliative. Cut the cost of fuel, and it will go around. Everything will crash.
But is it that they did not understand, or we were misled when they said the fuel was actually benefiting the elite? Or it was a booby trap?
Yes, it's a very good language you're using there, a booby trap. Now, when I was watching you with the gentleman that just left,
yes,
there was a place where you mentioned, is it that the government, no, he mentioned, no, you told him, it's like the government were not ready.
Yeah.
The governments were not ready.
And it's true.
They are not ready.
Okay, let me plead with you to hold your breath. We have a caller from Kogi in the person of Badamasi. Badamasi, welcome to the program. Yes, how much is a bag of rice and how much is a mudu? Because Dr. Andrew here is saying we should start from the bottom. Yeah. Oh, sad. We lost Badamasi. I hope you will call again. Yeah.
Badamasi, please call back. A mudu of rice goes from 1.7 for a mudu. So half goes for 900, 850 or thereabout. Now, the bottom line is when you cook this same rice, it's well polished. But when it gets to the water, it becomes a different thing entirely.
The quality?
The quality drops immediately.
And you also need condiments, right?
To make the rice okay. Now, when you go to, we're talking about rice. What about?
Okay, it's like we have another caller in the person of Rabi from Bukuru in Jos Plateau. Rabi, welcome to the program. And how much is a bag of rice? How much is a mudu of rice in Bukuru?
The bag of rice in Bukuru is around 50 something thousand, 53, 54, 55. It varies from shop to shop.
What about the mudu?
The mudu is 1,000 to 1,004 based on the grade of the rice.
You see, just as Dr. Andrew is saying here. Okay, now, so how do we address this problem? What is your contribution?
The contribution I want to make is, I want to first contribute on the palliative.
Okay.
Palliative sharing is not, according to me, is not right. Because I have even news today from BBC. They reported in BBC Hausa that in Nasarawa State, the sharing formula is in fact very bad because they are sharing one sachet of spaghetti to 4 people. One sachet to 4 people. Is this palliative? People are getting only 2 cups of rice. Half measure of tea milk of oil as palliative. A person will half packet of spaghetti. How could that be? Is that palliative?
All right, it's not. Okay, in summary, what should government do? Should we bring back subsidy? Should we import rice and other grains? Or what is the way out? Briefly.
Even if the government is not going to, return the subsidy, but they should import rice. They allow people to import rice and move food from outside.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Badamasi. Okay, Doctor, you heard Badamasi?
I heard him very well, but I think if we can do local, so that we'll not enrich the other country with our little resources.
But the party is not there, Doctor. You know,
I heard you when you were talking about
the party. The millers said they don't have the party. It's not there.
That was why I said, if you look at it, the government of today is not ready. They are so much in a hurry to do what?
Running faster than their shadow.
Too much in a hurry. You see, you just came. Listen. Or you look, you listen, you learn so that you can live. I don't know if I can start.
Very well.
When you look, you listen, you learn so that it helps you to live.
All right.
Now, they are so much in a hurry to please us.
And they are ending up injuring us. Okay, thank you.
We are bleeding.
The last caller was actually Rabiu from Bukuru in Plateau State. The caller we lost, but Badamasi from Kogi is now back. Welcome back. How much is rice in Kogi? Yes.
Rice in Kogi is about 48,000 naira.
Okay.
48,000 naira.
And a mudu?
Well, I don't know of a mudu, but I know a bag of rice is 48,000.
So what is the way forward now? What do we do?
The way forward is for Mr. President to have a meeting with our security men.
Okay.
And our governors. Let the president beg the governors to show more cooperation and allow these military men to be involved in the distribution of whatever palliative is going to embark upon, so that the idea of partisan will be removed. And we should allow importation of rice, because I have said this in the past. Importation should be allowed because we are in an emergency situation now. Security of the country is porous. Farmers cannot go to the farm. And except you bring in more of these products, these products are not in a larger supply. So bring in rice, bring in all these grains from outside, just for a few months. And the government again should be involved in massive investment in agriculture, so that by the time we do away with this palliative or do away with importation, our agri sector will now be well standardized.
All right.
Will be well in place.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Badamasi. You had him. I think he came with quite a number of prescriptions.
Yes.
Open the border.
One.
Bring the rice, but not till eternity, maybe for some months. And then call the governors, hold security meeting, secure our farmlands, then invest heavily in agriculture.
If you look at the gentleman that left here.
John Chooks,
John Chooks. Let me refresh you. There was one thing that the government of today made a mistake of. We have 3 elections coming. Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi.
Yes.
How would you give those states palliative? Who do you think they will share it to?
Party faithful.
Of course. The loyalists, the faithful. It will not get to the others.
Well, if I were there, I would just defect. Since the parties don't even have any difference, I'll just defect. And so that I get it.
Do you understand? So it's
people are desperate to eat, so they don't care whether your party is white or is green or yellow or whatever.
Something on the table.
But you had Rabiu,
yes,
who was saying people are giving a sachet of rice,
an indomie,
and then indomie,
spaghetti,
a sachet of spaghetti for 4 people to share. Are we not making mockery of ourselves?
Of course, Doctor? We are. We are, because that's why I say the government of today is not ready. Because you need to.
But it has to be ready, so we don't have any option, right?
Why
they have to wake up from slumber.
Exactly. Why I say that is that they did not do a thorough research.
A diligent work.
You understand? If you go to market today, you get to some places, they sell a model of red gari for 800. Some sell for 600. You start wondering, who is selling for 600, who is selling for 800? The man who is selling for 800 tells you that things have increased in the market. As at last week, the same person, next door neighbor, is selling 600, making this first person's own to be superior more than the other one. Meanwhile, it's the same thing. So, like, if I would suggest to the government, I would tell them this is not what we need.
Okay, will tell us what government needs to do. Let's take this caller from Gombe, Dr. Sani Yakubu. Welcome to the program, Doctor. And how much is a bag of rice in Gombe?
Well, you know, the major differs from one end to another. Here in Gombe, a measure of rice, local rice, is 1,115 naira, while a bag of rice, 50, which is marori, the so-called foreign one, is 48,000. And at the same time, the local rice that constitutes about 80 measure is around 96,000.
96,000.
96,000, yes. So to be frank,
80 measures,
yes. One thing that if I would suggest, government should do in order to curtail this hyperinflation is first of all to retrieve some of its own policy statements. You know, entrepreneurially, policy statements usually affect prices in the market. And when the government intends to undertake whatever measure, then they should be silent about it. Let just common man see it happening within the market. Now people, especially those that have money, are going into the villages to buy even the so-called, that I can say, the early harvested food items in anticipation of government would release money to buy contract, to give out contract for purchase, to distribute for palliative. So sometimes government needs to be tactical in making policy statements in such a way that it will not affect the demand and supply in the market. That is one. And two, as the person in the studio is suggesting, and also the other person that just left, if security is not improved in our farmland, definitely a lot of people cannot afford to go to the farm. Additionally, this issue of fuel subsidy, something has to be done about it. Without touching the issue of this fuel subsidy, then hardly can people afford to increase their own food items. At the same time, there is need for having local policy issues that will boost production. That is at the state level, at the local government level, there needs to be synergy in such a way that the subsistence farmers can easily have subsidy in terms of whatever input. We have seen something like that in Maiduguri, although it ends up in some local governments, while other local governments are not benefiting. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. That was Dr. Sani Akubu from Gombe. You see, 48,000, but this is the local bag, you know, that has some 100, now some 48. But he said something legendary, that government mustn't voice out all the time. Act more than, you know, the talking, you know, that you should act the talk. He said, if not for the declaration that they have released money, this speculation wouldn't have been there and wouldn't have been where we are. You agree with what he said?
Yes, I quite agree. If you look at where he's coming from, from all the analysts or from the callers that we've gotten, Gombe is a little bit down. Gombe is a little bit fair with the prices of rice. Because others were coming up with 50, 50, 50.
55.
Yes. The ladder was just going up.
But he said there is this fear that now people are even, you know, penetrating localities to mop up the new harvest.
Exactly, to go and stockpile it, hoping that government will come to them to buy so that they can now also make. So we also at the government, we are puncturing ourselves. Because you heard that government said this, you now want to go and mop up what you say.
So meaning that you are saying the Nigerians are not also helping matters?
We are not helping. Government is the man who puts in place. Okay, you do this for us. We elected you to do this for us.
Yeah, but we are sabotaging.
But we are sabotaging the government too.
It may be a good intention, you know, the palliative, even though terribly handled.
If you look at the palliative, in everything you subsidize. There's a turnaround for everything. You came in with the mantra that, okay, you are for the people. It's good to be for the people. But what do the people get from you?
There is this fair, Doctor. I want you to quickly comment on it. We ran, on our page 3, you know, we do in-depth in the paper. We ran an article by a foreign media house. They conducted a research that even countries who are, you know, who produce rice in large quantities like India, they have shut their borders now. They have, you know, asked exporters to stop, and they impose tax on export because there is this fear that this speculation is a global thing and they don't want to be caught unawares. So
food shortage.
What do we do? Yeah, food shortage across the globe. There is food insecurity all over the world.
We depend too much on outsider. But one thing that has come to Nigeria for a very long time is insecurity. Everywhere now there's insecurity in Nigeria. The local man that produces gari, maybe along the western part, is not safe. The one in the north, in the Zamfara,
it's also not safe.
Is not safe.
Very
the tomato
sad.
in Jos
not
is not safe.
Everyone is not safe.
It's not safe.
Okay, the doctor will take our final caller, then I will allow you to round up. We have Mohammed from Auchi in Edo State. Welcome to the program. And how much is a bag of rice in Edo State?
A bag of rice from Edo State. Let me say, Buhari regime, that period, we used to buy bag of rice 34,500.
Yeah.
But now, just surprised as it is a new president now enter. Bag of rice now. Let me say today, bag of rice is 45,500. So the thing is bad. It's bad. Even though we poor man to buy rice is a problem. Look at yam. Everything just goes bad.
So what is the way forward? What is the way forward, Mohammed, in summary?
Even though yam said yam.
Yam, yeah.
Go market yesterday.
So what should government do? What should government do, Mohammed? Finally.
The government, the right thing to them to do is, they're supposed to import rice, so all those things will not go down.
All right.
Look at anything food.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you. Thank you. You have to also wrap up because we have come to the end of the program.
Yes.
He said even tuber of yam.
Yes.
Unaffordable.
Yes. In as much as we criticize government, we also need to prefer solution.
Okay. So what is the solution now?
Government on what to do.
In summary, yes.
In summary about the rice, what we need to do, in as much as now we need to put security in place.
Okay.
When we put security in place, we can grow local.
Okay.
And when we grow local, we'll be able to maybe put things in our silo and be able to let it get around.
All right.
You understand? Not just in rice.
Yeah.
Every of the food.
Yeah.
You understand?
Maize, wheat,
rice,
and everything.
You understand?
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew, for your informed perspective.
Thank you.
I wish we have more time.
We will.
Because you had Mohammed say during Jonathan, during Buhari it was 34, but during Jonathan it was 18,000. May we have leaders who will hear the voice of reason. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And for many of our callers who were unable to pick your call, please call next week. We'll endeavor to pick it. And for those who have contributed, we thank you very much, and we hope those that matter will listen and they will act. And that's a wrap on today's package. We sincerely hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics Live, airing every weekday, and also our special package on Friday, during which we open our telephone line for you to comment on national issues as you did today. Once again, we thank you for watching. Bye-bye. I'm Hamza Idris.